Hi, this is Bill Wood with Disciplined Trading Decisions. Let's take a look at the crude oil futures market. But first, trading futures, options on futures, and retail off-exchange foreign currency transactions involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources. You may lose all or more of your initial investment. Opinions, market data, and recommendations are subject to change at any time. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Okay, what I have here is a monthly chart of the crude oil futures. Let's take a look at the Andrews pitchfork. We saw that it broke down here, had a good low, and came up back up here. So we're going to take a look at that. See what that'll give us. And you can see that it has respected this line, has not closed below this line, came back up to this moving average in this median line and rolled back over. This is on the monthly chart. This looks like this could have a lot more room to go, but okay, on the weekly you can see that the market came down, up, and now it's back to this median line. It reversed right at that median line. It looks like this looks like it has some room to go to the upside. So could it make it up to the moving average, to the bottom of this cluster here? I would suspect that there would be some resistance there around 45. Let's take a look at some of these other charts. We have this channel moving down here, also moving average here, 20 period. What was that other? 45? 45 we may run into resistance, 45.70. This could be as close as 42.55. We have a low volume node here, and that means that price has been rejected in this area, and this is where it broke down from. So on the way up we have 42, say 42.75. We have this low volume node at 42, say 43. We had the bottom of this, where this broke out from, 44.51. So I'll be watching for these to roll back over. Now, this held as support. There's nothing saying that it couldn't roll over like this. That this instead of being a reversal like this, where you see it go straight up, that it kind of reverses at a 35, 45 degree angle. That means that it's still weak. So we're going to see how this reverses up out of there. We have very close targets. And it could get all the way up to here. So we'll be watching this carefully. I'll be watching this to roll over. Could be a couple of days, a couple of sessions, or I would actually like to see it get very strong up into this area, and maybe I'd be interested in shorting up here around 44.50, but we'll see how it reacts when it gets up there. This is a 4-hour chart. These are all areas where there was high volume nodes. These tend to attract price, so it could get up to 45, again around 45.60. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart. If we take the Andrews pitchfork and come down to this low, to this high here, doesn't seem very relevant, right? So what you want to do when that happens is just to double check. You want to switch it to a shift, and you can see that this is a lot more relevant. It tagged it once, tagged it twice. tag the 150% extension. We're back at the lower end of this, and it looks like it's gaining some steam to break through. Now, if this does break through, you have the low volume node here, and then you have the center median line. The center median line kind of lines up with the bottom of this area here. So I'm going to be looking at this center median line. And the longer it takes to get to it, the lower that price will be. The faster it takes to get to it, the higher that price will be. So that's one thing that I'm going to be looking for in the next week or two. You know, this is going to be a magnet up here, but there should also be some sellers at the bottom of this range. So you can see that we were pretty extended here, and it didn't roll over like this. It just kind of went, you know, a little 45-degree angle. Looks like it's about ready to break out again. And if it does, it doesn't look like, looks like this could get pretty extended fairly quickly. So again, I'd like to see a breakout, because you do have some shorts down in here that once it breaks above here, they're going to have to cover. So you might see a nice short covering rally, and that's when the whole world may think, you know, that we're getting, you know, going to break new highs, when that's all we're doing is testing this median line. On the 30-minute chart, if we take it from this low to here, we can see that it burst through this median line. Check the top line, check the median line again, and we're dancing around this top line. Looks like it's about ready to break out. May run into resistance up here around 42.71. We do have this low volume node here, and we have a high volume node up here, which may serve as a magnet, which is up around 42.85, 43. So, you know, whenever you have a magnet, you got to be careful shorting before that magnet. The bottom of this range is down here. The breakout point, you could call that 42.52. You could call that way up here 42. Might as well say 43. So this is one way to look at it, that it may run into resistance up here around the high volume node. Another way to look at this would be, put this down here. Okay, you can see that this is being respected pretty well. We got up to this top median line and retested it here. Came all the way back down to the other side of the median line. So it looks like this is a pretty good channel here to watch. When it reaches this median line, could be right at this low volume node, which is generally rejection. That's if you look at where this low volume node is, you can see, if you take it all the way back to the left, that's right here at this particular breakdown point. So you might find some resistance here. You have a magnet up here around close to 43, 42.86. This looks very overbought here. On the 4 hour, it looks like it's gaining some steam to go higher. You could go much higher, you know, 44, go 44 to 44.40. On the daily, looks like it has plenty of room as far as the stochastics go before it's overbought. You have the bottom of this trend line, moving average, this middle trend line, and you have a magnet up here around 45.84. On the weekly, we just bounced off of this median line here. We're going to be watching this stoch if it can curl around and have a strong exit, or if it's going to be more like this and just kind of peter around, which would tell me that we're going lower, maybe testing this high volume node down here. Okay, on the market profile, you can see that we had a very high volume node here. So this may be a magnet here. It also is right below that is the single prints. The market likes to fill in these single prints here. So this may be a target area up in here. We talked about these single prints the other day. We had some single prints here. The market opened. What did it do? This is the first hour trading, this blue line. So first hour trading filled in these single prints and broke lower. Created some single prints of its own. The next day the market opened at the top. The market looked like it was getting ready to take off. But it opened and immediately turned down, and this first hour trading is were these single prints here, filling in these single prints. Left a nice buying tail here. This should alerted you that the market was reversing. You had some single prints here, and look, couldn't quite fill in those single prints. That may have been a hint that the market was strong. And of course, it did go higher. Then we were talking about these single prints here, and we very much thought that it could have spent the whole day just filling this in, and that's what it did. So it looks like we're heading higher. We could have gotten a little long in here, and so there may be a pullback before it goes higher, maybe a pullback to test this volume node down here. You can see this volume node is around 4082, right? And so this may be a magnet up here, 4284. What do we have up here? 4291. And you know the P formation, where you have people who are short down here, and they finally realize that they're wrong, and they have to cover their shorts. That could be what you see here, where the market gaps up and leaves a big P formation up in here. We'll see. I'm going to be a little wary about shorting this market. Had a nice reversal right off of here. The target could be all the way up here. I'm going to be looking for maybe scalps on the way up, and we'll be watching this to see how it breaks out of here. All right, this is Bill Wood. If you're watching this anywhere other than my blog at Disciplined Trading Decisions, please go there now. Stay motivated, stay focused, and stay disciplined, my friend.